Hello.
Hello. Hey,
Hi.
hey.
How you
How's
doing?
it going? I'm so excited.
How's it going?
It's going good.
Your room is a big vibe. I'm liking
Is
the
it?
vibe.
Is
Yes.
it? I got all kinds of stuff here. I don't know. I don't think you can see the Bob hanging out with me, Bob Marley. I got a brand new Aaliyah track going on there. Trying
Sick.
to trying to add
I'm
to my vinyl collection.
I need to do the same. I need to do the same. I'm terrible at like I want to like do a whole vinyl room. Uh, but I haven't decorated much.
Yeah,
But
it
this is
still looks cool.
inspiring.
Thank you. It still looks cool. I love the warm lights in the background and the whole wardrobe collection. Looks like you famous.
I got the hoodies and I got the studio vibes, but I don't have art. I want
Hey, you'll
art.
get there. I love
Yes.
it though. It's cool. It's cool. Man, I am so excited to be talking to you. I am so honored that you agreed to talk to me today. I'm just going to dive in. I want it to be an organic and a real conversation, if that's cool with you.
Sure, for sure. I'm pretty much an open book. So
Good.
I rarely have a cut that, but maybe you'll push buttons I didn't
I
know I
know, right?
had.
It's just like weeping in the fetal position.
Yes.
I'm just so honored to have you on the show today. Really, really honored. Time to is what I believe to be our most precious asset. And so when people are willing to share a piece of their time, that thing that we only have so much of, I'm really, really excited and honored because I admire your work. I've been studying and stalking you online a bit more and more just to understand more of the world that is token, and I am mind blown. But we'll talk about that later.
It's my pleasure and thank you for stalking.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Well, okay, talk to me a bit. So, obviously, most people know, your name's Ben, but you go by Token. What I haven't quite figured out yet is exactly what inspired that. I know your fans may know, but I'm curious, and not just what inspired the name, but what it means to you, the psychology, I guess, if you will, behind your artist name.
Totally. Yeah. So token can mean like the only, right? Like if I was like the token Jew at my school, I'd be like the only Jewish kid or the token whatever kid. The first rap I ever wrote, or at that point it was really like a journal, was about feeling like I just totally didn't fit in and feeling like almost like an alien, like from a different species. And back then I felt it, it kind of like ran my life back then. And it was a really negative feeling back then of me just feeling like the only one and just like not being able to fit in. And that journal entry or whatever turned into rap, that was like my first one. And so um token can also mean like a token of appreciation or a token of gratitude, like something that's worth something. And that's what I feel turned into my worth, my being different, my like not fitting in turned out to be my gift because it led me to music. So it's like being the token became my token, you
I
know.
like that.
Um yeah, so that's where it came from originally. A lot of people think it's from the South Park reference, which is not. I do love South Park, but it's not that. Um, but yeah, it's really about just like originality, and my label's never too different. I'm like all about like just being weird and like being who you're supposed to be and being okay with uh being the odd one out.
I respect that. I like how you just put that in words when you said your token became the token or a token. Because I saw that in your Instagram post when you were celebrating number ones on iTunes. Congrats, by the way, on that.
Thank you.
The post from a few weeks ago. And I loved how inspiring your words were. It really showed that you're more than just celebrating your own successes, but about inspiring others. Have you always been like that? Have you always been so confident in what what your dreams are, what you believe you can be?
It wasn't so much about the success of it from the beginning. The beginning was just so natural. It was like I was kind of just like a sad kid growing up, and it led me to writing about it in a journal, which like I was a huge rap fan ever since I was like 5 years old. So it kind of just naturally fell into rap, and I started like recording when I was 10. So before I even like thought about, you know, could this be my career? Could this, those thoughts didn't even came. I was a rapper in my life when by the time I was 10, which I'm very lucky for because, people discover these things like later in life and it becomes difficult. I didn't have to like pay rent or, I didn't have a kid. I was a kid, you know?
Yeah.
So it was in my mind, like, I've been this has been my life since I was, you know, 10. I've been making music since I was 10. So I didn't, I think success started or, chasing views and chasing like trying to,
Yeah.
make this a career probably became more of like a goal of mine when I was probably like 15 is when I started like really trying to like get views and like get my name out there, stuff like that. But before then it was just like trying to make me feel better,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it was a very natural thing.
Mhm. I think that comes across in the way that you rap and sing and the kind of songs you write. You seem very authentic, and for me at least, and I could imagine that's the case for a lot of your fans, that's what pulls me in. Like when I was just bragging about you to my husband because I had listened to your collab with Tech 9, the YouTuber rapper, and I was sitting here. I'm still gonna release the reaction to that, and also to I'm not supposed to be here to my channel. I want to show the world some of the stuff that you can do. But I was sitting here with my jaw on the ground. I mean, I was mind blown by your skills. Your cadence flows, the bars you were spitting, I could barely keep up. Sometimes, like certain American cultural references or pop cultural references, I have to still research and take a second because I was born and raised in Germany.
Mhm.
But the cadence flow, the way that you were just spitting bars, it was mind blowing. And then very similarly with Not Supposed to Be Here, there was so much authenticity. It comes across what you just said, I feel like comes across in how you share your art. It's really not someone just doing something and fame is the main goal. I feel like it's the other way around. You are doing what you were made to do. You can't help yourself almost, if you will, for lack of a better word. And now it's catching on and it's bringing the fame as it should and the views and hopefully all the other blessings that you want for your life. But I
Yeah.
appreciate that about that. Is that the feedback that you get from others when it comes to your authenticity, the down to earthness?
I think it depends on what like era of my career you're like talking about, and that really does mean a lot to me because that is the most important thing to me, because a lot of, there's like different ways to look at it. There's like, because I've been doing this for so long, like obviously I really am into the skill of it as well, like
Yeah.
I'm into the technical
Yeah.
stuff too, and that's how a lot of people discovered me, and that's what like got my name out there. But I think, and I love that, and I think that is part of my purpose as well. But I think like the biggest part of my purpose is just like sharing my stories and my perspective and like just kind of being like a watcher and turning that into music and just like trying to be honest. And I think it's taken me like, it's taken me ebbs and flows. Like sometimes I get inspired by, there was a year where I really got inspired by like dance music and going out and I wanted to make like that type of music. Like it's not like I'm solely it's like different things in my mind. It's like I'm a lover of music. Like I've
Yeah.
been in love with rap music since I was 5. So like I love rap. I love that. But I think my true purpose is like like I said before, like sharing my perspective. So I try to balance it as much as possible and I don't like I don't hold it against people when they just like me for my technical ability or they don't, they only listen to my hard songs rather than music is to be loved by different, but I do enjoy more. It means the most to me when someone says like, "Hey, this song really spoke to me and like your experiences like remind me of mine and then made me feel less alone." Like those are definitely like my favorite comments to receive. But at the end of the day, it's such a blessing that people just like listen in the first place. So whatever compliment I get, I'm happy about,
Yeah, you're gonna
but
take it, of course.
the main thing is when people say stuff like you just said, it truly does mean a lot to me because it is the most important to me.
I think that makes sense though, because I feel like when people are willing to stick it out with you when it comes to your art on the fun rides where the focus is just technical ability, cadence flows, and awesome beats, as well as those stripped down raw moments where you're really putting your heart on the table. I think the kind of people that can see both psychologically, I think that strikes us because those are the moments we're seen the most. And it would
Mm.
only make sense that you want to be seen, that you want someone to not only applaud you for your ability when you're performing and you're showing your excellence because of all the years you've put into your art. I mean, it takes refining and skill and hard work. This is not just talent, I know there's a lot of hard work you put into this, but those are the moments when I think we feel the most seen if someone can say, "Hey, I see your heart, and that's what it's doing for me." And I think that's a beautiful gift you're giving the world token. Your authenticity is going to liberate people to do the same. For example, your latest release, What Are We Waiting For, was a very personal one. I lost my grandma too. I have one left, but I lost my German grandma years ago. And the way that you were willing to let people into that part of your story and your pain sets other people free to do the same. It's authentic. And I think we're in a day and age right now where people are craving that in every
Yeah.
genre of music. Give me something that's real, because we both know, even in the hip hop and the rap culture, there's so much shallow junk that it's like, I think your art is a breath of fresh air, to be honest.
Yeah, thank you. It's yeah, it's the truth is just at this point, like it's just my priority. And I used to, because I was really young when things started happening with me, and you know, like receiving people saying like this song changed my life, or like this song spoke to me. In my, like, youth, I guess, you would read that and you would just I would kinda just, like, dismiss it because it just felt like it felt hard to believe, and I always wonder, like, are people exaggerating? Are people but once you grow up and you, like, go through more stuff, you realize that, like, no, it's real, and, like, people aren't just, like, telling you this stuff, and, and, you know, it's just the most important thing for me, and yeah, I a lot of the times when I'm writing, I get like really personal sometimes, like really specific. And sometimes when I'm writing, I am like, should I say this? Like these are real people in my life. Like I'm talking about real things. And every time I get that feeling of like, should I feel like that is the reason I should. Because the reason I'm asking myself I shouldn't is because most people wouldn't. And that means it doesn't exist in the world yet. And maybe it's my duty to make it exist in the world. Um, Sometimes that messes up my personal life a bit, um, but it's a
Yeah.
balance I try to balance.
That's funny, but I think that's true. You have that choice to either put something out there that is not being talked about. I think that's the liberating part though, right? People can come out of the woodworks and say, "Dude, me too." Nobody's ever said it before. How does that play into freestyle rap? That's one of your creme de la creme, areas,
Yeah.
where you thrive and shine. When you are freestyling, how does that level of authenticity flow without now in real time saying something and being like, "Oh shit, how am I gonna get out of this? This
Yeah.
is live and this is freestyle and I can't edit this."
Yeah. It's like a different thing. It's like I when I'm doing those, I would love to like spit the realest thing, but sometimes it's like not. So a lot of those are just like about this technical skill, about the like it's not like I don't have like moments in there of like real life. Like I try to all those like technical moments, like, and I think I've gotten better at this throughout the years, but like even songs where I'm like rapping fast or there's a lot of rhymes or whatever, I still try to like say some stuff in there, you know. And I think fans are like picking it up now, but sometimes just because it sounds like just because the upbeatness of like a freestyle or like the upbeat, maybe it's like a hard song and it sounds like I'm bragging. Sometimes it's really not a brag. It just sounds like that because the tempo or whatever is like tricking you into, and I don't know, I went through different phases. I dabble around musically, and there's songs that I might be like talking about my relationship with women or like money or some stuff where sometimes when people just automatically hear that with like a hard 808 or whatever, they're just like, "Oh, he's just bragging about the." But if you really just like read the lyrics and play some like somber music behind you, it's really like not bragging. Like it's really like either telling you where I'm at or telling you like, it could be difficulties, it could be maybe I'm admitting I'm like lost in something like and I think those freestyles are just like wilding out, like doing the technical skill for the most part, but I try to put in little like moments of like real life. I want everything to feel authentic, like wear I'm not trying to be this person for this song and this person for this song. I do write and like with a tunnel vision where it's like if I'm writing a song about my grandma, this song is about my grandma. When I'm writing a song uh upset over my relationship with my dad, that's all I'm thinking of. If I'm writing a song how I love my dad, I'm only thinking about the love for my dad. Like it's very tunnel vision. I think a lot of those freestyles people enjoy because I do just like go all in with the technical stuff and I love performing live. It's like my favorite thing is to perform live and I almost think it's like the best thing I do. So I think those freestyles have become like a narrative in my career just cuz it's just raw. It's just like what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I can tell that you love it. I saw this clip. Imma share it in the video in post. I took a screenshot of it. There's this YouTube short where you were on Sway's show, and your facial expression was just so much joy. So, like, genuine joy, like you really love what you do.
Yeah.
And it's like I said earlier, like, your authenticity, but even those type of moments where you see a clip and, they captured it just the right way, it makes it ignites other people's joy, right? It's like you love life, it feels like. And I'm not saying that I know you've been through some really, really hard, painful things, and I'm sorry for your loss, by the way. I wanted to have said that. Losses. Um, you've been through some serious shit. And at the same time, because you keep going and you keep creating, there's something that like ignites, at least for me, and I can imagine a lot of your fans, that joy to do the same, to be authentic, to be vulnerable, to love what you do. It's contagious. That's the word. It's like contagious. You see that and you're like, I may not be a freestyle rapper. I'm not gonna go down that trail. It's gonna hurt. People are like, stop, Rosalie, stop. The token handle it. Everyone, to each their own. But it is contagious in the sense of love for life and
Mm,
passion for what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Which makes it
yeah.
sound all the better. Whatever you're listening to when someone's genuine and genuinely enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. That's a great thing to hear because if I can do that for people, that's awesome. I know it's hard out there to enjoy sometimes. So if I can, it's amazing that like, um, yeah, you're right. It's not like you have to become a freestyle rapper, but there's certain things that are universal. Like when you watch someone love what they do, it makes you want to love what you do. Not the same thing necessarily, but those things should be contagious, so that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, they absolutely are, and I respect that about your skill. And then I think it speaks for itself because of all the opportunities that have happened and evolved for you over time, all the things that have been happening from your collab with Tech9 and Ren and you're being on Sway's show. Talk to me about what have out of all those opportunities that have been happening in the last few years, what have been some of your favorites, the most that were like, "Whoa, I made it," or
Oh,
those
man.
moments? If you had to pick a couple. I mean, I'm not gonna say number 1 because, that might be hard, but top
Yeah.
few.
I'm lucky that my career has kind of like, it wasn't like one thing that happened and like all of a sudden I'm a household name. Like I still very much feel like I'm on a climb.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
yeah, and it's been steadily like it's just steady. So I guess I struggle sometimes with like which ones are like so groundbreaking for me, but I guess moments that I feel like I was like, what the hell? Um, I guess when I sold out, like when I had my first like successful headlining tour, was the first time where I felt like, okay, like it's my career now. And that was like after I dropped this album Between Somewhere and I was like, selling out shows all in Europe and the US by myself. And that was like a moment of like, okay, this like happened. Um, um, Honestly, I did some work with Kanye on when he was working on Donda 2, and being around him uh that was like that's like one of my favorite rappers. So I know that's a whole thing right now, but
I know,
that
right? Oh
aside,
god.
yeah,
You're allowed to
but
say
that
it
is
though. This is a safe space, man. You're allowed to
just a
say it.
yeah,
I don't throw
just
the baby out with the bathwater.
yeah. but but yeah, just for real, like at that moment, like I never have been around someone who like I looked up to like as much as that. So that was just insane, like insane. Like I still just like it feels like a dream. Um and a- and yeah, I don't know. That was a pretty crazy one. And yeah, the selling out the shows and um uh yeah, at this point I feel like I cherish more like I really enjoy when like I feel like I'm somewhere because of like what feels so good about the success of this album is because it's like my rawest self I've ever put out there. And, like I have like two other albums, and both of them are very much like a specific time in my life. They're like, this is like what my life sounded like for this year or this like 2 years or whatever. This album is more so about me and like my experiences throughout my life, what has like made me me and where I'm at now. And it's like everything. And it's really raw. And I didn't try to appeal to anybody. I didn't try to like do pull any like industry string. Like it was very much me. And to see that this has been like the most successful one, it just like feels really good because it's just it's an important reminder to me that like being myself is the most important thing. And so even though it's not like this album made me, and it's not like everybody in the world knows who Token is, but the success of this one really is fulfilling more than anything else has been for a really long time.
I really love that for you. I really genuinely love that for you. That to me ties back into that feeling of when someone really sees us. And that's a
Yeah.
core human need, right? Like cuz you're right. If you had a certain label pushing you or a certain marketing strategy, a lot of things can go viral if you have connections in the right places, right? And if you're willing to say or do anything, you can go viral too, right? I mean, the craziest shit is more popular or more viewed than things of substance. I think it says all the more in this day and age where the crazier or the more grotesque you are, you could make it further. It says all the more to have someone who is themselves and who has worked to get there, who then makes it. I think a lot of people that support you would feel the same way. Obviously, it's most personal to you because you put your heart and your work on the line. But even for us who are, I hate the word consuming, but who are experiencing, enjoying your art and the things you've created, uh, it's more rewarding to see that because of you being you and it not just being big because well he had enough money or well he had all the chicks in the background. You know what I'm saying? Like
And ironically, the longevity is in the purity, where it's just like you can go yeah, you can go viral. It's really hard to like tell kids this, or not even kids, like just aspiring artists, because it's so difficult to not just like chase the views, like chase the immediate views. And that doesn't even necessarily have to be like girls in the background or whatever. That could be, I mean, for me, for my version of that, if I was solely chasing like viral clips, I would do freestyles just nonstop. Like that's what I would
yeah.
do because those what it was what does the best for me. But I know that like my purpose is not just that. And but yeah, it's tough. It's tough to um internalize that. But when you're in it, when you really watch it and you see like, bro, people like legit go viral, go crazy, and then next year no one is talking about them. And that's because it's surface level stuff. And like That's okay sometimes. Trust me, I have had surface level moments. Like, sometimes that's fun. I'm a jokey guy, like, I'm down to tell the jokes and do make funny clips or whatever, but it's a balance for sure, and if there's nothing to, like, fall back on, uh, then that's all you got, and then you're just, like, floating on a cloud that is gonna eventually turn into rain, and you're gonna fall, you know?
That's a great what is that, a metaphor?
Yeah,
That's a fantastic example for sure. It's this idea of impact over something going viral.
right.
Actual impact over, like, a quick fix of influence. And I think you're absolutely right, it's fine for it to be both. Everything's right, yin and yang, dark and light. Like, there's a moment to be goofy and for it to be fun and for it to have been what it was in that moment. But if yeah, you're absolutely right, if that's all you got, then what is left? For one, there's nothing left for your fans, but also what's left for you, right? Because 'Cause you're not leaving a legacy if you were just to, leave nuggets that are those clouds that turn into rain. So, I appreciate that. I have a question, a little more personal question, but you share as little or much as you like. Since we're speaking about longevity and wanting to have impact, in some of your posts you would share in the past about some of the things you would release where you were just creatively trying new things, and sometimes parts of your audience express certain disappointments. Can you talk to me more about that and what did that do for you, and how did you not let that keep you from continuing to be yourself?
That's a good question, yeah, I think I am a lover of music. Being young, starting this out, people started listening to me when I was like 17. I started listening to different types of music and being inspired to different things. It's like I do think it's a bit easier when you're older because you kind of have a better idea of like this is the type of thing I'm into. This is the type of thing I listen to the most. Whereas like going from 17 to my early 20s, I started being inspired by a lot of different artists. And I think I kind of had like in hindsight, like um a rebellion against like, I got so known for the technical thing that I thought that I was, like, so much more than that. I mean, I know I'm so much more than that, and I was really, like I think I spent some time, like, really trying to fight against that narrative where I didn't really have to fight against it. I realize now that, like, I can do it all, you know? And, I'm proud of everything I've released. Like, it's always been honest. It's always been where I'm at. It's always been like no one ever has forced me to make a song or like got in my ears or whatever. But in the moment, like when I released this album, Pink is Better, which was like I spent a long time on it. I scrapped like so much music making it. The album could have been like three different albums because I made like so many albums in that time frame. Um, but the album I chose was like just what was honest for me in the moment, and it was such a departure from, uh, my early stuff that, like, a lot of fans, like, just didn't it's sonically, like, it wasn't for them, and I I guess I wasn't I wasn't angry, it was just a crazy time in my life because there was, like, 1 month in my life where, um, I dropped my album and it felt like I lost a bunch of fans. I lost my dad the same month, I lost my girlfriend the same month, and then I moved to LA the same month. So I lost all my friends, or I didn't lose my friends, but whatever. I moved away for the first time. So I was my first time in my life where I was away from my friends and family. And I was just like in LA, kind of like just feeling like I lost everything. And I don't like put that on the fans. Like now I totally, you know, I if anything, all the other losses, like, were more kinda devastating than, the lack of success of the album, so I don't look at that period in my life like, "Damn," you know, "the album doing bad really fucked me up," or whatever. It was really everything else, but I overall and I know a lot of people say this, and maybe they hear me say it because I say it a lot, and they're like, "Oh, he's just saying that." I feel that I've been so lucky in my life that, my first I've never had a job, like, I've been doing this since I was, like this was my first goal when I was 10, and it worked, There's so many people who try to be a musician. There's, so many people. And this whole thing is a blessing. And every like loss is a sugar-coated loss. You know what I mean? So as much as like sometimes I feel that I wish people like listened to me with more open ears or more like gave me a chance more. I think that at the same time, it's just more motivating to keep showing people um what I'm here to do and that I am, authentic and I am just like trying to follow my heart and do what I'm meant to do. And I think over time, people people will, if I try something new, they'll be like, "Okay, let me, like, really try to, like, understand that." I think back then, because it was, like, my 2nd album, and a lot of my fans are older than me, so I think a lot of them saw me and maybe still see me of like, "Oh, he's trying to do this. This kid is trying to do this," where I'm really not trying to do anything. Except be me, be what is real to me, um so yeah, I guess that's a long-winded answer. Of course, sometimes it's like, damn, I wish this song was more. I love this song. I wish it was more appreciated. I wish my fans loved it as much as I did. But I know things can change over time. I know songs can blow up years later. And at the end of the day, the fact that people are listening to me in the first place is just crazy. So I don't take it so much to heart.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I think that's important. That it's allowed to be what it was for you and what it is still for you. And those
Yeah.
who receive it, I'm gonna sound like Jesus now. Those who have ears, let him hear. But like it's true. Whoever wants to hear, hear, and whoever has something to receive from it, receive it. And some people just ain't ready yet, and then sometimes people are just projecting too. We forget sometimes that if I think something about another person, that or thought originated with me. So, it takes a lot of self-awareness to go, wait a minute, I'm thinking this he's trying something,
Yeah.
but maybe it's me wishing I could. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised if the people that and of course, part of it is everyone has a different taste, but those who are actually critical or would want to accuse you of you're just trying something or you're doing too much, you shoulda, woulda, coulda, sometimes that's also from a place of their own insecurities and jealousies because I think sometimes some may be trying to live vicariously through you. If they've been following your journey, you're, out here doing what a lot of people wish they could. So sometimes if we're not careful, we assume you have to now follow the trail we would have taken instead of being like,
Yeah.
no, this is an individual with his own process and you were created to create. And that's exactly what you're doing. And, it's going to be for different people at different times. So I encourage you to stay that route because that's going to be the most liberating for the people that need it, you know?
Totally.
Um, that's cool though. I'm glad to hear that because I was gonna ask, if though I know being creative, being a musician, a singer, songwriter in this world, rapper can come with a lot of tolls. And that I wanted to ask also because I want to make sure that you are okay. You've been through a lot, and my heart breaks for you for some of the things that you've been through. I know this is a little bit in the past, but it's not that long ago in context. So
Yeah.
are you feeling like if I may ask this, like you've been able to heal some from the losses you've experienced ever since you moved to LA. Have you been able to find some peace?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel good. I mean, back then, I didn't, I was never like, I never felt broken. I never felt like, woe is me. I never like played the victim. I didn't like, I, I think I'm good at, I mean, I genuinely do feel very blessed. So even though shit can be like, I never thought some of the stuff that happened to me like would have happened, but then it happens and it's like, I, I luckily have this thing that I pour my heart into, you know, that it's like, yes, I'm lucky that I have that. So there's that aspect, but I'm legit pouring my heart into this music. Like it's like therapy time. It's like a therapist times 100.
Yeah.
So I have that. And back then I was making tons of music talking that, didn't end up getting released. I could release 3 albums based on the death of my father because I have the material of it for it. But that helped me a lot. And like I said, I feel like right now I mean, even if this album did bad, I would probably tell you the same thing of like I feel good because I do. I mean, of course I have times where the pressure gets to me and I have like days where aren't so great, but overall I feel good. And but truly I feel very fulfilled off what is happening from this album, and I really think it's like giving me a jump start to like what's going to be next, and it's really like motivating me in like a healthy way. It feels like I'm a lot more healthy. It feels like I'm a lot more like my mom's son and my sister's brother. Like I'm a lot more like who I'm supposed to be. Which is a really good feeling because like that's the only really person I like know how to be. So I feel good.
I freaking love that,
Thank you
man.
for asking.
Yeah. I love that. That could
Yeah.
be a short in of itself. "Are you okay?" "I'm
Yeah.
great. Thank you for asking."
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm so happy to hear that because I'm big on, as you probably know with my channel, music and mental health and such, and I love how you are like a perfect example of how music can really be therapy. Listening to it, creating it. So I love what you said about how those hard times creating music and making all these albums, even those that didn't, get released, were your therapy and still are your therapy. That's so cool. I'm happy to hear that. And I know I don't know you personally, so I'm not trying to overstep with that. I wanted to be authentic enough to not just be like, I know you've been through stuff, and let's move on to the next question. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I want you to know there's people out here that are watching you, that are appreciating your art, that care, that are like, are you okay? Because you're giving so much. I just want to make sure you got people that are also giving to you, that are pouring back into you.
Oh,
That you got a net of people, because that can burn people out when they're always giving, and especially when you're someone who's authentic and you're more prone. We got to protect people like that. That's just me, as a sister from another mister, being like, "Are you cool? We
yeah.
okay?"
Oh, thank you. I do. Thank you.
Since you're talking about the things that are happening, what is next for you? What's your vision? To sound like an old person, what's your 5-year plan? Your 10-year
Uh,
plan? Where do you
uh,
see things headed? Who you want to be in the big picture?
yeah, I don't know about 5 year, 10 year. Those things freak me out. But what
I love
immediately
the
next
honesty.
is, um, what immediately next is I'm gonna be doing like a long tour off this album, so I'm excited to like perform the songs and touch the fans and like see them. Um but after this, I mean, I'm back to, I write every day, so like I'm back to trying new things, and like I'm really excited about like the music I'm making now. I'm trying to still, like do videos for this album. Like I have a bunch of really cool ideas of visually what I want to do with this album still. Um, but I've definitely been in the studio, and I'm excited about what I've been making, and I'm about to like do a bunch of freestyles too. I just feel like I feel really understanding of my purpose, and when I think about like a 5 year plan, I just hope to I mean I know I've I just want to look at it and say that's me. Like that's Ben. That's like where he's saying the stuff he's supposed to be saying, and he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. So, um, and I feel like honestly the most confident I've ever been in that, because you can have like we were talking about with like viral clips. I mean, there's like viral clips, but you can get success in so many different ways that sometimes I look at, moments of even me of like a really successful like clip or whatever that I don't necessarily look at and see me. And that's okay. Like not every clip is gonna resemble you as a whole. That's like impossible. But I think I have like a better grasp on uh yeah, who I'm supposed to be right now. So I just hope in 5 years, 10 years, like I am that person still, and more successful. Like I want my biggest song, I want my biggest tours, I want my biggest albums, all that stuff. But I just don't wanna I'm just it just needs to be me, during it.
I freaking love that, dude. I love that authenticity, man. That, like I said in the beginning, full circle, that is contagious in the best possible way. to
Mm,
because you're right, it ain't about if it's 5 years or 10-year plan because we don't know what tomorrow holds, but it's that authenticity of saying, I want it to be me, whatever I do. Sure, I got dreams. Sure, I see myself doing this and that. I want to accomplish, but it needs to be me. That is so deep, actually. That's like psychologically, that is really, it sounds simple, but and maybe it is, but it's also really deep, because that inspires me. I hope people are listening and paying attention to that because that's the best you can be. There's only one token, there's only one Ben. You know what I mean? And if people took that and not only consumed it, but let it inspire them, I think that can be so healthy for other
mm.
people to realize, yes, that's what I was made here to made that's what I was put here and made to do, to be me. I love that. Speaking of Europe tour, real quick, I'm getting so excited. I'm fumbling over my words. Did you go to Germany at all?
Absolutely, yeah, we'll definitely
How
be in Germany.
how is the are you still going or have you already been?
I've been in Germany a bunch of times. Yeah, we some of my first I think it was my first tour ever actually, because Europe showed me love before the US did. I think my first tour or no, was it Germany? It was France, Switzerland, and I think it was Germany as well. But yeah, I love it over there. The purity over there feels a lot more like tangible and less phones at the shows. Like people are just like there to, just appreciate the moment. So I love it. I can't wait to go over there. I'll probably be over there like the top of next year is the plan. Um, but I'm super excited.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was wondering. I mean, you have a German last name, Goldberg, which you
Oh
probably
yeah,
know. Yeah.
yeah,
So that's cool. But I was wondering how that crowd received you. I'm excited to hear that Europe did right by you. That's cool. But yeah, man, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you, and I'm loving your authenticity. I'm loving the hard work you're putting in that is paying out and coming back to you in blessings. I hope it continues to do so. What are the best ways people can support you? How are the best ways that people can keep lifting you up and helping you keep climbing?
that's a good question. I don't really get that question that much. Just, listening to the music, sharing the videos you like. Um, the shares, even though sometimes you feel like one person as like an independent artist, I have like legit no my team is small. I have no machine. We're not spending money on like the marketing, whatever. So it's really like those shares really those do a lot, and I love when fans talk to fans. I love, like, seeing, like, conversations between, like, them breaking down songs or them just even getting to know each other, like, I think it's so, like, beautiful that music can bring different people together, and, I think just, like yeah, just, like, that, listening, sharing, talking to other fans, all the obvious stuff, commenting. I wish I could say something more profound, but sharing,
Yeah.
comment, it's
Yes.
like, what else can you do? But,
Gather
um,
in a circle,
and
light
yeah,
the
but and
fire.
like, and to, share in real life. I don't necessarily mean share online, but if the song resonates with you, speaks with you, like it might speak with your friends, it might speak with your family, and that stuff is really important. So I guess that's what I would say.
That's awesome. Yes. Well, you heard him, people. Subscribe. Go check out Token on YouTube, on Instagram, on all the places. Get yourself a ticket once the tour dates are all released and support, support, support. I really appreciate you, man. I wish you all the blessings in the world. I'm honored that you shared your time with me.
Of course. Thank you so much. And I meant when I said that I love your channel. I love your authenticity, and it's very is palpable the word? It's just very clear that um you're not faking. And I love that. So, yeah, it's my pleasure to talk with someone who, you know, lets their heart speak.
That means the world to me, man. That means the world coming from you. I really respect you. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, Token. Yeah, I'm gonna be keeping my eyes on this tour date. So when there's a show near me, I gotta come see the live. But keep
Yes.
doing, man. Keep creating. Keep being you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Token. I
Yeah.
appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye,
Alrighty.
brother. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.